Hello and welcome back. So we're going to be continuing the game that we started, and we're basically going to get a research slot. We recently got Philips. We need a little bit more of political power to get that company going and get the benefits from that. We also I'm going to explain a little bit what we're going to try to do in this session. We're basically going to try to get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one I don't know because this one is super long. Focuses. And okay, let's get rolling. So we have 2 factories left. That's for the aircraft. When it's done, we will start assembling it. Then, with regards to dockyards, we are going to build some after we get the refineries built. Right now, we are ready for building aircraft as soon as we're done with that. We could start this research, which is what we're going to do. Also keep in mind that when we finish aircraft, we should probably soon after try to get going with trucks, so we're going to put 1 military factory to get started. I don't know why we have this. Oh, because we have... I don't know. Okay. Also, okay, we got the aircraft, so let's design the aircraft and choose. So let's research this as well. For aircraft, well, we only have 1, so that's all we get. Let's design our first plane. It's just light machine guns. This is a classic, you'll find it in many videos. With a defense turret. Why the defense turret? To increase air defense, okay? I like to change this, but not really any good reason. I moved it ahead because I really don't care much about the civilian trains. Not like it matters because they don't consume the same resources. And we can also change this template, add artillery and anti-air. Just so... Oh, and then we also... Wait a second, division designer. We also... Let's create an anti-template. Whoops. With cavalry. Call this police. There we go. And set this up in here. So we remove that. Okay. We can get Phillips. I forgot about that. That's a bit of a small mistake. We got the additional research slot. So in that tab we're okay. In this tab we're not okay. In this tab we are. This tab we are not. And in this tab we are not. So what we need first is cruisers. I think this is cruiser armor. And this is the one we're going to put, so we don't need to research any further. We do need to research this ship. So from this tab, basically nothing that we can do. Here we can research this. We don't need this. And then we do need these and these. So Oh, but from here we do need this. It's just to start going with the naval expansion stuff. As soon as possible, we would also change our recruitment law, because right now, not too good. We're not going to change the trade, because right now, I mean, we can do several things. We got so much stuff to do with political power, guys, that really... we're going to wait until we get the trucks done so we can start producing the trucks, okay? We probably have like 0.000 something aircraft. I mean, we will have an aircraft, but what I mean is nothing close to an air wing, so I'm not even going to bother getting that done right now. Why this? So, this is really min-max of heavy cruisers to raid. So, why this? Why this and why research it now? Because we get the secondary battery. And this is the highest you're going to get of secondary battery. You get one here that also doubles as an AA, but this one gives you more piercing. So, 7 here and 4 here. And this, oh, it's the same, but you get anti-air. Okay, so my bad. And this is 300, but that's so far ahead. So yeah, this one costs a little bit less. So right now, what we need is this one. So let's get going. Okay, let's move on to our next focus, which will be this one. Okay, so let me show you how I think through what I'm going to research next. So first, think in your mind where you want to go, and then check each tab individually. Okay, so check them all before. So here, we're in 38, so there's nothing for 38, but we're behind in some things. But do we have to build soon and the ships? No, we do need rubber, so that's something to keep in mind. Here, we're up to date, so nothing. Here, we're up to date more or less. We could try to get some of these, but a little bit at the end of the year would be better. So we could only do this, okay? But we don't need it, so not really. Here, we could do this. We do need it, and it will be helpful. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Here, we need nothing. Here, we need a lot of stuff, but we're still not in the land fighting phase, so we can sort of forget about these. Here, what we do need is this. This is an important one. And here we do need to get started with this at some point. So, what do we do? I'd say rubber processing is the first, because it will help us produce more aircraft. And also the trucks. Okay, now we got 2, so now we have more to choose from. So, we got that rubber. This is still 2 ahead of time. We could do a little bit of this, but it might still be a little bit too early because we haven't even researched our 1939 ship, so it's a little bit too early perhaps. So it might be better to do this and get that started, and do this and get that started as well. I think we finished the truck, so let's put the truck. And as always, civilian train at the very end, and trucks below aircraft. Okay, so we got that. We can do either thing. Since we're going to do some focuses that are going to help us increase our manpower, maybe we should change this first, so that's why I'm going to do this instead of what I said before. With regards to this, I always take veteran air structures because I like keeping my experience, and this because it helps me gain mastery and also reduces accident chance. That's basically the reason for that. Okay. Let me. Okay. Okay. So, and we can also, this is part of the point of that, to train up. Okay, so we finished this. Now we go against Britain. This is also a short one. And where we want to get is here, because here we get some decisions which for 35 political power we start to remove one of the big bad rebuffs, debuffs that we have. Rebates. Okay. Here we got this, so we're basically okay. Here we could choose this. Here we are okay. We could choose this. Nothing. This will come later. We're doing this here and this here. It might be good to get this out of the way, because if we forget about this, it's an issue. Because every ship needs this, so it's better to have a one that's a little bit more advanced ready, because we're going to try to build some ships early on. Okay, there we go. This. Okay. Construction, how is it going? A little bit slow. Okay, with those two we have plenty. So we don't need any more. And also, I don't think that was a correct news flash, because we haven't quite decrypted that. Let's research. Field hospital is key for us for anything we want to do, so it's also quite important. Now, with regards to here, we stay on the same page and we do that as well. And with regards to this, we're also going to, I think, start going with excavation. We need excavation to, once there's a certain point where we will get some steel, and we want to increase that amount as much as we can, so we have to buy less and lose less factories. So that's why we are doing that, okay? Because right now we don't have anything to take advantage of that, but at a later point we will, okay? So that's the reason. We will at a later point have to do oil processing, but not for right now, so that's why I'm not doing it. These we can do them later, but for right now we can start with fuel tanks, for example, to try to get a little bit ahead. It's really a lot of balancing. Okay, so this focus is important, okay guys, and that's why I left a little bit of political power in the bank for this, and I'll show you why. So this increases recruitable population by 10%, dockyard output and factory output, okay? The issue is it reduces political power gain. So during those 60 days, we really don't get much political power, and that's why it's important to have a little bit in the bucket. So we can, when this decision completes, we have 35, okay? And we can try to get through it as quickly as possible. Okay. It's also important to try to pay a little bit of attention to it, so you can, swiftly get through it, because it will increase. Look, the debuff we have, I think that one is this one. So minus 50% recruitable population, minus 25% factory output, minus 10% dockyard. So as you can see, it's quite a big deal. So that's why it's important to get it out of the way. With regards to research, the next thing we're going to research is the 1939 cruiser. So whatever finishes next, we're gonna start right away with that. Okay. Yeah. Because the ahead of time thing is not gonna be that much of a big deal, so we can start with it. Okay. So I don't know how big our air force is. We can start training. Okay. And maybe this is absolutely. Okay. Now we can get on with this long one. I wanted to have those political focus decisions done. So now when in that 210-day one, I can do several of these and keep advancing, because as you'll see, that one is absolutely, from my perspective, absolutely useless. I'm taking this logistics company because many times you're going to operate in places which are a little bit inhospitable. So, as I told you, maybe we disembark here in Murmansk or here in Arkhangelsk. I don't know how you would say that. So we're gonna research the ship. Get it going. Okay. Then we are also going to. I don't think we have enough. We do have enough for that, of course. But do we have enough for this? Yes, we do. We should also, rather sooner than later, start training some divisions, but that we might have to wait a little bit for that. Always go for the ones that increase production. That's why I really don't think about it, because usually the ones that look factory-like are the ones that you want. At least that's how I think about it. Okay. Now, let's check this out. Oh, okay, yes, here we go. Let's see how we're doing. So we've done 2, so where is that? Here it is. Minus 30, minus 15, and minus 30. So as you can see, we are these are the only things you could get out of this. So you get infrastructure construction speed, or you can not do it. I'm not gonna build any infrastructure, so I'm gonna pass on this one. Towards the end of the focus, you get another of those events, which enables you to get bonuses to factory, dockyard, and something else, which I cannot currently recall. Okay. Now we are finishing this up. Okay, that was good. Now we're in 39, so we can move on to the next. We could have done the other excavation, but it's better to get these other things started, okay? There we go, we got logistics. And as I told you, it's better to get these other things going, since they'll have a little bit more of an impact. And here we go, we'll take another one. And I think, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 it takes to get rid of that. So minus 20%, minus 10%, and this, so yeah, maybe it's another one. Okay, so some more for construction. So what can we do? We could, we have several options. We're in 39, so we have to build anti-air. Ooh, and I don't know if we built this. If we haven't, we should. You also need this, for example. So now, and anti-air. So right now we're building stuff that really wouldn't be useful until later on. We got 2 factories for this. We might assign one to building more aircraft, because it's what we are going to need now at first. Because it's basically what we're gonna need sooner. And yeah, so let's see if we can produce. We can also start training. We need about 4 We don't have enough manpower for 4. So, because that's for 12. Yes, we need 12. Let's see how much manpower we are missing. We're missing quite a bit. Oh, no big problem, because we will get some more. Okay. Ooh, we finished the cruiser. Okay. So we can start building the cruiser. Okay. If we're going to start building the cruiser, we would benefit from this. Okay. Now, we have 10 dockyards. We're going to design the ship, okay? This is important. The best engine. The best armor you can put, but that costs no chromium. Best secondary battery. We don't have radar right now, so we can't put any on. Put some good anti-air, because it's not like we're going to have heavy battery, so it becomes a capital ship. We'll change this to... I like this guy, but it's going to be 480. And then, to keep the speed up, and we're not going to put any aircraft, any of these. We'll sort of sort that out with the radar later, okay? We have to get that, I know. What is the issue? Oh, fire control. Yes, fire control we do need, and that's why we researched it. Okay, so as you can see, it doesn't cost us too much. Okay, we're gonna put heavy cruiser. Oops, heavy cruiser raid. Okay, and it's just good. Okay, I thought there might be something cool. Okay. So what are the main features? High speed. We got some pretty high speed. We have light attack. We have some light piercing. We have some heavy attack. We don't have a lot, and we have some heavy piercing. We got the bare minimum of this because it's what we need for it to be a capital ship. Have enough armor to not be much affected by light guns. And so those bonuses that we're going to get to screening without anything apply. So 30% screening with no additional ships. And that's basically it, okay? And we have bonuses. Also keep in mind that you have bonuses when you are in ocean, and you have debuffs when you are in fjords and archipelagos, okay? So keep that in mind, because that's, big deal. And in deep oceans, you have a bigger buff to avoiding mines. But it's not like AI uses mines too much, so. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to set up two of these, okay? What's the issue? As you can observe, keen observers. Not enough iron. Big problem. So what are we going to do about that? Right now, we should buy. Okay, we should buy because, look at this. It's going to be the rest of this focus, this one and this one. So 140 plus whatever is left of this, 50, 60 days. So 200 something days. So yeah, it's gonna be late. So you better buy something. I know it's not the best because our construction plans are going to, get wrecked. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay? And it's better to, trust me, it's better to have those ships ready from the start. This is the other thing that you get. You get additional construction speed for this. Not really. You could do it, but as you can see, we are building other stuff, so it really doesn't, we don't care. If you in your run are in a different place, or you do it differently, you got to check out when you do that, because maybe you can phase it in with some sort of expansion, and you can take advantage of that. But in my case, I really have a challenge finding the fit for that. Okay, I'm gonna research. Not heavy guns, sorry, because that would. Okay, so we already have this, so maybe what I could do. The aircraft stuff is important because when it's 1940, this stuff takes so long if you have to do all of it together. So it's better to take these two off the list, and it also helps you towards the radar stuff. So it's better to get rid of that as soon as possible. And let's see if we have to do another one. Yes, we do. Okay. And gradually our manpower will increase. Right now it's not increasing because it's probably going to. Oh, okay, now it's going to increase. Oh, okay, that's good. Okay. Now once we're done with that, we can then change this. Now it's the last step. As you can see, we're also really tight on the schedule. Okay, because the war is going to start very soon. This is divisions that we get from our puppet. I'd never bring them along. We might someday do some strategy. So here you can get more production output if you go through these. I think we might benefit more from this. Yeah. 15th of. So yeah, it's not too bad. Okay. Now we can go here. It will still take a little bit while until we have to get involved, because when we have to get involved, Germany will shove us in the nose and say you gotta get involved. So until that point, there's still a bit of time. So let's take advantage of that and keep training and pushing forward with our stuff. Okay, that's good. It's important to get rid of some of these stuff ahead of time, as soon as possible. And the division training is also important to do it as soon as possible, so you can really later. I wouldn't say that you're going to, do a bunch of stuff, but it will help you later down the line. Okay, so now we have that focus done. Now we're gonna get to the steel. When we get to the steel, we can also change this conscription. Okay, so we can mobilize more people. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we can change this as well. We're gonna focus a lot on artillery because we're going to take one of the doctrines that enables us to use artillery more effectively. Okay. I don't know why these guys, probably because I didn't set them up to. Here we go. See, now we get this buff. And usually what I do is I do the ahead of time bonus for this, because it just gives us for more factory output, okay? Factory and document, okay? And that's something that I find is helpful quite a bit. Okay, and then once I get that done, we can do either rubber or this. Now let's check out. So rubber, we're running a little bit thin, but I think we should do this because it'll help us more. Because saving up on steel is going to be a big deal, okay? Because we gotta get it 16 and some, but we're not gonna have enough. So anything that can help us out in that department is going to be a bonus. We already got rid of that debuff. I don't know if you guys can see. It's no longer there, so that's a positive. Poland has capitulated. Okay, so that means that soon the focus is going to turn on us. So it means we gotta get ready. If we aren't already, we are, more or less. Let's add this to this guy. Let's also change the engagement to low risk. Let's set this to automate the base selection. And let's also choose the targets, so none of this rubbish. We only want convoys, okay? That's going to be the same for most of our run, for also the heavy cruisers, the surface raiders. Okay, and this, we got 200 planes trained up and ready to go, which is awesome. Then we got excavation 2, which is great, so we're getting a lot of bonus. And then let's also do this as well. I'm not caring too much about land stuff. Okay, so we got this done. We're in November, so we can. Aircraft is going to be important at this stage. So I know I'm focusing a lot on aircraft, and we said we're going to go naval. It might seem otherwise, but we're still going naval. Okay, it's just that it's important. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, and we're going to try to unlock this because it gives us plus 10%. So it's like another additional excavation. Okay. So we'll take this. We have this division as well, so we got 12 already. And we can start mobilizing some of these garrisons. So these, what are these for? Basically, guys, when we move away from the Netherlands, these 12 divisions that we are building right now, we are not going to leave them to watch here our homeland, because honestly that would be a waste. So we're going to have a different template to have them watch, and it's going to be this smaller template, and that's going to be a bit more simple, even though most of the support companies, they're still going to have them, except I think the logistics, because since they're here it won't really matter. And basically I think we have 1, 2, 3 ports, and basically I'm gonna have 3, or I don't know whose this one is. I think it's mine. Oh, it says owner Belgium. That's in Belgium, even though it looks like it might be mine. So I think I have, yeah, I have 3 ports. So I think I have with six of these, 2 for each. There we go. I'll have enough. So let's start researching that, okay? Or training up. Okay, there we go. Just to get a little bit ahead of the curve. Okay, and with also air doctrine, okay? Because we need homeland defense. Why? First, air home defense factor. I think it's the thing that we need, and this also is focused a lot of interception. We're going to do interception all the time, except if we, on occasion, need to support our own troops fighting on the ground and get air superiority. But we're not going to have any CAS. We're also going to have some naval bombers, but that's in strike aircraft. Okay, there we go. Let's unlock this. And let's also do this as well. So here we need precision bombing, naval targeting. Okay, and that will be that. Okay. As you can see, stuff is getting heated. And let's see. Okay. Let's see how many of these we have. One. So we could already do radar. So we're basically, oh, and we also see here, I didn't change this, that's my bad. See, we can use a little less of that, and we can also hire this, and we can start with radar. Okay, there we go. Of course, that's going to, exactly, so we have to buy a tad of, so that's why I'm telling you, it's important to research excavation, because it'll give you a little more wiggle room. So maybe with this plus 10%, I might be able to get rid of having that additional have to purchase another 8 of steel. Okay. Oh, this is the random guys. Yeah, the random guys. excavation. Let's see if that did anything for us. Yes, it did. See, that's what I'm telling you. It's important to do those because it saves you a little bit, and that's important. Okay, so let's see what else. So we got this done. We got this done. Let's start with this because I think, yeah, more or less we'll have aircraft 2 ready at a good time. At a good time. 3 dockyards. Okay, that means we're done. What we can do, we can start building 2 more of these heavy cruisers because right now we haven't researched anything better or of the sort. So let's build 2 more. I think we might have time for more than 2 more. So let's get 6 of these just to get going. And we're gonna, when we get called into the war, we're gonna use those subs. We're going to avoid archipelagos, so mostly I think the subs can only reach here, and our heavy cruisers will use them here. We're going to get here docking rights from Fascist Spain, and that's also something that we are going to use as well. Okay. Right, let's see. We still haven't been called into the war, so we still have some time. Naval aircraft, because we're also going to build naval aircraft. Okay, so we haven't been able to get this because we don't have more than 50. As you can see here, we get 4. Perfect. Absolutely perfect because it's what we need. Okay, so there we go. Those 4 will be good because in case we need to repair, do refits, it's also handy. Now we got some more factories. What can we do? We can add to the trucks and we can add to aircraft. Okay, it's going to be the most important part right now. Then we might have to build some more factories because we're going to try to build maybe some anti-tanks or some SPGs. So we will need a few more factories, but right now we really got to get this done. Oh, we got more, but we can't build any more of nearly anything because it requires more resources. As you can see, we are really tight on resources. That's why excavation and all those things are quite a bit important for us at least. Okay. We admiral. Okay, so this is a new mechanic that they added recently. So basically, as you can see, we have 2 choices. This admiral, he can get cruiser captain right now. Okay. But this one has concealment, -10 visibility. I consider that a bit more important. So our admiral here is going to be this guy, and for our raiders, we are going to have the other admiral with this trait. We're going to split this up. We are going to put them at low risk, and we're also going to change this as we did with the submarines, only to engage with convoys. Okay, there we go. As you can see, I'm holding on to quite a bit of political power. No good reason for that right now, because I could buy both of these, be perfectly fine. I do find a little bit less used to theorists nowadays. This is what I was telling you. So I think this is a good point to wrap up. We're going to join the Axis and we'll leave it here, guys, okay? So we're going to join the war in the next video. We join the war and we start fighting. We start raiding at least, and we continue on from there, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good day. Bye-bye.